Germany's unemployment rate dropped below 7% in May as Europe's largest economy performed well despite the ongoing debt crisis. I am joined with Ulrike Rondorf, Senior Economist at Commerzbank, to discuss what the latest figures mean for Germany. Ulrike, thank you for joining me. Some economists had forecast the German economy had lost 7,000 jobs in May after gaining 19,000 in April. However, no jobs were lost or gained. How did the data releases compare to your predictions?
The unemployment rate continues to decline in Germany as we expected, in contrast to the eurozone where it continues to rise. However, if you look at the number of people unemployed, it falls only slowly, so you can see an impact of the weaker growth in the last quarters. So we expect the upswing in the labour market to continue, but at a slower pace than in the last 2 years.
German retail sales increased for a second straight month in April and rose by 0.6%. Do you think this is a true indicator the economy is continuing to grow?
The retail sales came in a bit better than expected, as you pointed out. However, this data is quite volatile, so it's difficult to draw any conclusion for the private consumption, which, for example, increased by 0.4% in the first quarter, despite a decline of retail sales. So overall, we're still quite confident that the private consumption in Germany will contribute to growth this year, as the domestic demand is quite stable, profiting from the good situation in the labour market, but also from increasing wages.
However, German business confidence fell more than economists forecast in May. Do you think this will have an adverse effect on the economy's growth?
The outlook of the German economy has certainly weakened over the last couple of weeks due to the sentiment indicators falling. So you can see that the German economy is not unaffected by the troubles of the eurozone overall. So even though the Germany has experienced a strong upswing in 2010 and 11, it's now likely to grow quite slower, only at 0.5% this year compared to 2011. Versus 3% in 2010 and 11. So you can see there is an impact of the eurozone crisis, and the outlook has deteriorated. So we expect slower growth over the coming quarters. And Germany is certainly not a Teflon economy, although it's profiting from a quite solid growth in emerging markets.
So Germany's resilience is showing signs of weakening. Do you think the country's other interests will be sufficient to keep its stance as Europe's largest economy?
Germany is impacted by the eurozone, but is also still profiting from stable growth outside the eurozone. So we have a German economy, especially in manufacturing, that is steering in a world of two speeds, basically, with Asia, US, also Japan growing at solid rates, and they have a high demand for the German goods which are highly competitive in these markets. Through the reforms Germany has done in the early 2000 years, but also we see the weaker demand of the eurozone, where 40% of German exports goes to, and so you see this. We're quite somewhere in the middle between the economies in deep recession like Italy and Spain, and economies growing far stronger than Germany this year, US and Japan.
Ulrike, what do you think the future holds in store for the eurozone?
It's pretty much uncertain now, as you can see in the market reaction as well. So we have a situation where everything depends on the Greek election coming up in the middle of June. So either we get a government that is able to work together with the EU leaders, or a government that is probably unlikely to be accepted by the EU, thus will not get any additional help payments, and that would mean the exit of Greece from the eurozone, most likely. So we have two different scenarios, probably with a likelihood of 50%, as everything depends on the election. And looking through Greece, we have also these troubles in Spain. So we see that the eurozone continues to be one of the main drivers of markets and also the economy. So we pretty much have a picture of increasing and decreasing worries, which will continue over the next months, and it's not likely to just go away for 2012 and 13.
Thank you, Ulrike, for joining me today. That's all we have time for just now, but stay at Tukascopy TV for the latest market updates. Goodbye.